Hello, I'm Sarah Ellis. Ace Handyman Services of Jersey Shore. We have two locations, one in Howell and one in Toms River. What we do is handyman services. We service Howell, Brielle, Allenwood, all of Ocean County, and some of Atlantic County. We have an office manager that she is phenomenal, which some of you met at the Christmas party. And my husband has a background in construction. So the two of them, they basically know all the ins and outs. For example, we're working with a veteran service on a house in Point Pleasant, and the person had a bathroom redone recently. So we went to go and do some work for the veterans. They cut out the ceiling. There was mold. And the reason why there was mold was because they had this bathroom done, but the person who did it didn't put in any kind of ventilation in, which is illegal. But we make sure that we do everything by code. And when someone calls and asks for something that we know it's not right, then we will absolutely say no. Okay, what we do anything from, like I said, changing light bulbs to small kitchen remodels. We can go down to the studs, but we're not a licensed plumber and we're not a licensed electrician. So we will bring someone in that would actually do that. Good referrals for us are friends and neighbors, any homeowner. We actually do a lot with seniors. We're CAP certified, which is certified agent in place. We do commercial where we have insurance is double what is actually required. So we've done stuff for like the vitamin store, ShopRite. So they end up calling us because our franchise is all throughout the country. So a lot of the property managers, they know that, Ace in whatever state. So they dealt with Ace in Colorado. So they look us up. So we have like a network of property management companies that will call us to do stuff for them. We have lots of seniors that seem to call to speak to Janice just because they're lonely. Which is kind of nice. We actually have a chat system. My latest friend was someone named Dolores. She's 90 years old. We actually went and did some work for her, but she's been texting with us. We're licensed, insured, bonded. Everyone is background checked, which I didn't realize how important that was until we started background checking people. And it is very important. And if you have work done in your home, you should really make sure that you at least Google someone. We've had people come in for interviews and they seem absolutely wonderful. And then we background check, I do that, and it takes a little longer. I'm like, all right, well, it's just taking a little long. And then we find out that the person just got to prison and like all this stuff. So you should really make sure, people love getting information off of Facebook, but a lot of times people put something out on Facebook and then their friend goes and says, oh, this person's wonderful. And it's just someone that they know. Like, oh yeah, he's great, but he really isn't that great. There's an instance where someone had done a grab bar and like this older woman had set up to have a grab bar done. The guy charged her $3,000, which is outrageous. Mm-hmm. She'd given him half the money and then he ran off. There's a lot of people that call us and they're on a fixed income. So even though, we have a certain price, like even with my new friend Dolores, she needed her dishwasher taken out. So she said that she had called a bunch of people that came. They didn't want to do it. So I sent our guy. And I knew it was going to be over an hour, but I didn't want to charge her for longer than an hour. She wanted us to basically tear up her tile to get her old dishwasher out. The dishwasher was from 1975. So our craftsman, he basically he took it apart to get it out so she wouldn't have to rip up her floor. So we sent him, and he was just like, she was very feisty. Nice guy. So like we try and do stuff like that will make us feel good. So we do a lot of that type of stuff. Let's see what makes us different. Everyone's background checked. We do by appointments, so we're not like the cable company. We're not going to tell you just to wait from 8 to 4 and hope you show up. So we give a 1-year warranty. So we try and make everything perfect, but if something happens, you just give us a call. We come out, no questions asked. So we do commercial and residential. When someone calls, Janice basically tries to give the worst scenario. So if we think it's going to be 2 to 4 hours, we'll say, well, this is what it costs for 4 hours. If it's less time, then we charge you for the lesser amount. So, you don't want anyone to say, well, it's going to be 1 hour and then we get there. Well, now it's 8 hours. Like we don't do that. So we have a lot of guys that were contractors. They're very, very skilled. So you're getting a contractor for a handyman price, which I had actually mentioned the other day is that when we first started with this, I knew what a handyman was, but it never even dawned on me. Like I've owned my house over 20 years. And whenever I needed the ceiling fan put in, I usually called it an electrician. Or if I needed, a shower head, I would call a plumber. And after we went through this whole thing, I was just like, oh my God, all these years I actually needed a handyman. And it never even dawned on me that that's what I should have been hiring. This was one that one of the guys that worked for us, he actually built a little dog house underneath the stairs, which is actually very cool. It's adorable. Yeah, so it's really great with the flooring now and everything underneath. Those drywall repairs came in and we fixed the drywall. So, and we actually ended up putting television up too. But
Tara, I have 2 local family members who in the last couple of years have needed to have a ramp from the front door to the driveway disassembled and removed. And then another one who needed one created for their household. And that, I would think, bridges kind of right in between a handyman and a contractor. You're going to get a contractor to come out and basically build a little deck that's sloped. But do you guys do that?
yes, we do that kind of a situation. Yes, we do. The job that we're doing where we cut the ceiling and found the mold. There's a really great organization. What they do is they will do stuff for veterans, but they're actually paying for it. So, so we went there to put a new vent because there were no vents. And this guy has respiratory issues. But then as soon as we cut out the ceiling and started mold, we were like, okay, stop. But then, so he had his whole entire house checked for mold. So last night he had that same guy come and it was just in that bathroom. It was because they didn't put a vent in, which is illegal. So now we can actually continue. But we basically do a lot of stuff for veterans. We do, this place is national, but because he found us because he had dealt with other Ace in other states. Which is kind of nice because people just end up calling us because they're like, oh, well, I've dealt with, in Colorado or Georgia.
Well, just while echoing the pricing question, it's per hour, not per job. Or so how does that translate?
Well, it actually works out better. Well, it depends. Like if you only need a light switch, then it's not necessarily better because we have a 1 hour minimum, which it's funny because when I answer the phone, I apologize the fact that, but I cannot send somebody out, for 15 minutes because what we end up doing, we actually pay the guys for their travel. Right, sure. Exactly right. So there's a travel fee that we give them on top of the hour rate. So I have to pay them for the hours.
So these scaled hours, how do those rates look like?
The lowest is $225, and for the day is $11.98 because we actually charge an $86 service. And that's because we're actually giving the guys 40 career of it. So if by chance, if you need something that's like a 2-day job, what we normally do is we'll split that $86 between the 2 days because that's just because we're giving it to the guy who's coming anyway. But yeah, so it's like $11.98. So, but if you have me coming to build a wall, which would have been a contract, that I'm going to be a lot cheaper than you have it because they already have all of that stuff built in.
So you're saying that individual materials and that stuff is homeowner supplied?
What? Either way.
Okay.
Right. So you actually come out cheaper if you actually get the material.
Yeah, sure.
Janice, for the builder that she worked for, he did 400% markup. It's just like, it's anywhere from 200 to 400. Our markup is usually 65 if it's over $200 and $80 that's above. No, if it's below 200. Yeah, so ours is low for the industry. Yeah. But if you have something like a pipe or something, you're charging 700%.
Thank you, Tara.